Welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to be together. So let's touch base just for a few moments with the present, our body. We are sitting, and we know we are sitting. Head, chest, abdomen. Let's make it soft. Legs, hands, and feet. Nothing to do, nothing to communicate, so we can relax the face, the hands. Don Eduard, bienvenido. We touch base, know where to go. Ready? And today we are starting with the Paṭṭhāna. We finished last week with Paṭicca-samuppada, giving, as we mentioned before, it's just the first round. We just gave the first round. It will be a lifelong study to go deeper and deeper, but at least we know what it is, how it is structured, and what we can look for. And we saw some elements on how to apply in our practice, where we can stop the suffering between desire and attachment. From Vedana, the sensation in the mind, develop equanimity, not allowing it to develop attachment there. Welcome, everybody. So something, Charanita, let's start today.
Good evening, everybody. So I'll share the screen now.
Let's go with Paṭṭhāna. We will see the 24 conditioning forces. Let's pay respect. Remember all our teachers, starting with our parents, our first teachers. May they be well, peaceful, and in peace with life, at peace with life. All our teachers, our Dhamma teachers specifically, Sayadaw Nandamala Biwansa, Sayadaw Kamsachara, Sayadaw Tajaniya. All their teachers who may not be here anymore, all the generations going back to the Buddha, the whole Sangha, and the wisdom that they protect. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Thank you so much to all the teachers for all that they have given us for so many years now. May the benefits. Don Alex, welcome, queridos. Great to see everyone, almost everybody here. Yes, very good. Welcome. Okay, so let's start. Paṭṭhāna, Casita. Welcome.
Yes, welcome everybody. So today we are going to continue with the second, in this chapter, in chapter 8, there are two very important teachings on cause and effect is being given. The first one, Paṭicca-samuppada, and the other one, Paṭṭhāna, the conditionality. So we finished very briefly, an introduction about Paṭicca-samuppada at the last 3 sessions. And so today we are going to start with Paṭṭhāna, and also because as Bhante already mentioned, it is something very deep, so we will only go through like really a brief introduction first today, then we will do a little bit more details, and then the whole ocean is for you to explore by yourself later on. You will
have the diving gear with this. You have the diving gear, and we continue. Yes, we know, and it will be a journey. So just to remind, I said briefly before, I appreciate your patience. If you haven't seen the videos of Paṭicca-samuppada, my dear family, really is the heart of what we have been studying for months. So please go back to this. If you haven't seen to these 3, because this is really the pinnacle, the crown of why we were studying all this. You will find it that is very, very important to know. So it's not something to be missed, please. And if you can relook at them and think more on them, and then if some question arise, we continue exploring. Very, very important what we just finished the last week. Please do that favor for ourselves.
Yes, it is very important, especially Paṭicca-samuppada, the dependent origination. On the internet, if you type dependent origination, there are so many things and so many explanations, which many times cause a lot of confusion.
Yes,
and some are not really explained according to how our teachers explain. So we need to be careful about those explanations on the Paṭicca-samuppada.
There are many, how we say, explanations and interpretations. That's the word. But an interpretation, we don't need to interpret reality. The facts are there. We need to know the facts and know just the word, the logic of it, and then apply them to our practice. Most of it, because of the depth, I understand that because of the depths of the teaching, very often people, unfortunately, may not have all the ultimate realities information. So it is impossible to make a sense of it, and we all try to, and it is perfect. It is perfect, the intent, but very often, my dear family, a great percentage of the teachings are just can be misleading very easily, very easily. So please take a look. Yes. Okay, so we continue today. Going deeper, we can also learn Paṭicca-samuppada with Paṭṭhāna, even with a higher lens in the microscope. But well, let's first, that will be for another course, definitely. And let's continue with the Paccayas, with the forces that makes cause and effect work, why the universe is up.
And maybe after we finish with the brief introduction of the Paṭṭhāna, we might go to the Paṭicca-samuppada and see how the Paṭṭhānas, how does it fit together.
Paṭṭhāna is like the X-ray.
We're going to see now
of the X-ray.
So
yes.
Let's start.
Yes.
It's so long
let's
introduction.
Go. Yes.
Okay, so. In the Paṭicca-samuppada, where we have already seen these two words, paccaya and paccayupana. No? So in the teachings of the cause and effect, it is important that we understand that there are causes and there are conditions, and most of the time they arise many together, no? Like many causes for many effects. So this we already explored in previous session. So paccaya here is another word for conditioning states, which can be caused or can be conditioned.
That with conditions something else.
Yes, and that paccayupana, paccaya upana, no, paccayupana is the conditioned states. That is the effect, no, something being conditioned by some other thing,
by the cause.
Yes. So these
the conditioning force, the thing that conditions, and the thing that is being conditioned.
Yes. So this we have already seen in the previous Paṭicca-samuppada in the previous session. So now for Paṭṭhāna, we have to add one more very important element here, and that is the paccaya sati. This sati is double T, not that mindfulness sati. This sati means a force, or so it's called conditioning force. In other words, we may say the relationship. So this and this, they are related. No, these are the causes and effect, but how? So this is like explaining the relationship between paccaya and between paccaya-upana. So in this case, this is a very roughly idea of graphic that I made for easy understanding. For example, we have seeds and we have plants. We know they are related. How? In what way? So this paccaya sati explain how, in what way they are. This is an example, no? That's just an example. For example, we may say like, okay, seeds and plants, they are related because of the DNA or something. No, in this case, for example,
we go deeper. We know there is cause and effect, and in Paṭicca-samuppada we saw all the causes and effects. But now with Paṭṭhāna, it explains that middle part. In which way, how
they are
related, and what is the force that is actually making them be related, and what is the force that makes that effect arise based on that cause. So what is the functioning? Even a little bit more specific, yes.
Sometimes the word force may sound a little bit like
the force,
maybe
Jedi stuff, but yes, it is
not that much like. So just understand that it is the relationship between the cause and the effect.
Yes.
Okay. But because you find this translation conditioning force in all the books, so therefore we put it here for your reference also. No. So just understand, paccaya sati is the relationship between the cause and the effect.
Yes.
I mean the conditioning states, something that condition others, and the states which are being conditioned by others.
In which way?
Okay, so for example, now seeds and plants, they are related in one way. So if the condition change, then they are related in another way. Yes, they may be related with not DNA, now maybe heat or some other relationship they have. No, so in this way, the different kinds of relationship are being explained. Now, in the Paccaya and Paccaya-upana, in ultimate reality, what can be a conditioning states? We have already explored this also previous sessions. The nama, which is Cheta and Chetasika, Rupa, and Nibbana, and even Panyati, even concept. All of this can be some kind of conditioned to they can be conditions for other things.
So in short, all ultimate realities and also conceptual reality, or both of the realities can be condition something else. An idea can condition us to do something, or just the heat in it itself is not an idea, it's a fact of nature, can condition us to go to the shade or drink something. Just to put some daily examples. Yes.
Yes, so we will go into more specific causes and conditions and Paccaya and Paccaya-upana later on. So now in the side of the conditioned states, which is Paccaya-upana, the effect, here, what can be conditioned are only ultimate realities. So Chitta and Chetasika and Rupa, no? So because why is Nibbana not here? Because Nibbana is unconditioned. We already know it is not being conditioned by anything, but it can condition something. So, but later on we will see how and why. And concepts also, concepts itself is not a reality, so it cannot be
ultimate reality.
It cannot be conditioned.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
About Nibbana, Nibbana is unconditioned. There are conditions to arrive to it, but once the person is in Nibbana, that person already is on the unconditioned.
In Nibbana,
well,
it takes
Nibbana
as the object, but Nibbana itself is not being conditioned by anything.
Nothing. That's why it's free of being conditioned. And that's what, hence the freedom. As long as we are in a world that we need conditions, we need to continuously be working to keep those conditions in such a way that the way we live is pleasant, stable, etc., etc. But conditions are constantly changing. Internal conditions, external conditions with other person. That's why it's so busy to be human being. We need to always keeping the right conditions, right? The food, the weather, the clothing, the relations, etc., etc. And that's why the freedom of the unconditioned. Nothing is. It's free already. No need to work for any balance. Yes, the balance is achieved. Yes, and then we will see now. We saw what can be a condition, what is conditioned, and now we will see what kind of forces are conditioning thing. And this is what the Paṭṭhāna explains. There are 24 conditions or conditioning forces that makes all this relation of cause and effect in everything that we experience in life, in our minds, in our body, from our mind to our body, from our body to our mind, etc. These 24 ways of relating the cause and effect are explained in this chapter of Paṭṭhāna.
Yes. Okay. So sometimes we may think only 24. How is that possible that the whole universe is just related with each other in only 24 ways? No. So we need to understand that this 24 goes also in combinations. No. So this thing and this thing is related in this and this and this and this and this and this and this way.
Yes.
Also, not only these things are related with only one condition. So there are combinations. So therefore, it's quite unlimited. I don't know how limited
combinations,
but it's like can go a lot of combinations.
Becomes really complex because there are, as Acharana says, there are groups. There are some of these condition forces that are very often they work together. One part does one thing and the other one does another thing. But in general terms, one is the chief at a certain moment, and the other ones are supporting. Yes.
Okay, so in the Paṭicca-samuppada that we have seen in the previous weeks, so Paccaya and Paccaya-upana are being explained, no? So the cause and the condition, how A is linked to B. So it is explained that A is connected to B, no? So avijja-paccaya sankhara, sankhara-paccaya vijnana, vijnana-paccaya nama-rupa, like that. So the links are being explained.
Because of this, that, because of that, this.
So this is like saying that this person is related to this person. Yes, but it did not say how. What are their relationship? It just says that these two persons, they are related. Yes. So in Paṭṭhāna, the relationship are also being explained. So Paṭṭhāna is called causal relation. So it will say that this person and this person is father and son. So in this way, this relationship is what is called the paccaya-sati, the relationship. So A is related to B by way of father
and son. And in another way, another paccaya-sati would be, if they are not father and son, it would be the boss and the worker, or the teacher and the student. That is the thing. It will be different. It is the same two things, but the thing that is joining them together will be the paccaya-sati in this example. Everybody clear here? Yeah, I think so, yes. Everybody fine? Okay. Energy okay? Good.
Yes, so just the main point here is the paccaya-sati is the relationship between the paccaya and paccayo-panna. Okay, so now here for whatever understanding or teachings of the of cause and effect, three things we have to remember. First is the paccaya, which is the conditioning states, causal condition. And then the second one is paccayo-panna, conditioned states, the states which are being conditioned by other things, and paccaya-sati, the conditioning force, which are the relationship between these two. Yes. Okay, so let's go further now. The paccaya here, the conditioning states can be in different ways. So it can condition some things in different ways. Sometimes it directly produces some other thing, no, as a result, no. For example, karma directly produced patisandhi, no, like so it produced rebirth consciousness.
Because of karma, for sure, so as long as there is potentiality, patisandhi arises.
It produced something, no?
Yes.
Then sometimes it supports something that is existing at the moment. So already this something is being produced by another cause, but this this conditioning state support what is being already created by other karma, let's say, or by other things. No?
Even the seed can grow a plant. It has all the potentiality to do so. Without the support of soil, it will be impossible. So it is very, not as important as the first one, as creative, we will say.
Because only soil cannot make
plants. It is necessary. Soil by itself, you cannot do a plant, and the seed without putting it in the soil will not. So one will be the generating one, and the other one with the supporting for that effect to arise.
And some other paccaya, they maintain what is there, no? So they can produce, they can support, or they can maintain whatever is, the conditioned states, no? Okay, so now in the Paṭṭhāna, we have said that there are 24 of these kinds of conditions. So now we will introduce very briefly, just like a table of content, all 24 of them. So we'll have an idea what are they. Then later on, we will go into a little bit more details of each of them. Okay?
Yes, everybody ready? Here we go, my dear family. 24 paccaya.
So you will be quite familiar with these things, because these are not new things. These are things that you have
already seen. Seen many of them.
The first conditioning force, paccaya-sati, is called root conditioned,
hetu-paccayo.
Hetu-paccayo, the first conditioned. So what does it do? Like roots, it fortifies or it makes strong the plant, or make the plant strong.
It feeds, it helps whatever is supporting, it makes it helps for it to become stronger. And as we know, in the wholesome or unwholesome, the 6 kind of roots that our mind has, it will fortify that wholesome or unwholesome quality. The function of the root will be the same.
So paccaya here in this relationship, this root condition, the relationship between the paccaya and paccayo-panna is that the paccaya fortifies or makes stronger or gives strength to the paccayo-panna.
To the effect.
Okay, so this is the
Let's make a little exercise, because we will use these words, Pali words. Paccaya, cause. Paccayo-panna, that the effect. Paccaya, cause, the conditioning. Paccayo-panna, the thing that is being conditioned. And paccaya, sati, whenever we have the sati, is the thing in between. Okay.
The relationship.
If we are clear with those, we will use
so
the
we'll,
pali.
Continue use these words. Okay, so then the next one, the next condition is called object condition, annamanna-paccayo. Annamanna-paccayo. So here, this conditioning, so this paccaya sati is what is the relationship between the two things that is about paccaya and paccaya-uppanna is that the paccaya is the object of paccaya-uppanna. Okay, so for example, this color or rupa is the object of what? Of Chakku Vijnana, no? Of eye consciousness. No? So in this way, these two are related by way of object relationship. No? So one is the object of the other one.
We know that the color we see is related to our consciousness, but by what is necessary to be there, we use this object condition. The color is the object of consciousness. That is the way that cause and effect is happening because of this.
It's related.
They are related in that condition, way because of all object condition.
So the rupa, the color, conditioned the Chakku Vijnana, eye consciousness, by way of being its object.
By way of object.
Being its object. Okay, because without an object, the chitta cannot arise, no? Whatever kind of chitta. So later we will go into details. Then the next one is called, the third one is called adhipati-paccayo, predominance-condition. So in chapter 7, we have already seen what are the adhipatis, no? The predominance. It is the simile which is given by the teachers is like the king that he governs over the whole country, no, over everything, no. So this here, the relationship between the cause and effect is the paccaya predominates the paccaya-uppanna. So just as a reminder, we have chanda adhipati, chanda, the will to do, and then we have chitta adhipati, the consciousness itself, viriya adhipati, effort, and vimamsa adhipati, wisdom. So later on, we will go into much more details, but just as a reminder, so these adhipatis predominates over what is being conditioned.
By this force, by predominance condition.
Adhipati-paccayo.
Yes.
Okay, so then another one is called the proximity condition, anantara-paccayo. Anantara-paccayo means that they are, the relationship here is the paccaya is adjunct to paccaya-uppanna.
It's beside, it's beside it, together.
Here, the proximity condition, anantara-paccayo, only applies to the chittas. So that means that one is very close to the other. The Buddha explained about this because he wants to make sure that we understand that between two chittas there is nothing. No other ultimate reality can arise between them. There's one chitta and immediately another chitta arises, and immediately another immediately. That means they are together. One after the other, very closely together. So we cannot have some idea of like one chitta arise and something else happened and then another chitta later arise or something. No?
Some space of nothing
there
or
is,
between them.
So it's always anantara and samanantara. No?
Yes.
So special cases also happened. For example, in the Nirodha Samapatti, then it stopped for a while. Remember, in the process, like in the deep jhana and of the anagami or arahant, sometimes it stops. So there is no more anantara force in that case.
In that moment.
No? So, but anyway, in the normal cases, it arises. And then, so what we want to understand here is that there is nothing in between. Just one, and then the next one, and just next to it, adjunct is the other chitta.
Yes. So this is proximity condition, anantara-paccayo.
Yes, and the next one is basically the same, but because it is such an important idea that we have to understand, the Buddha explained it again.
In two ways.
It's called anantara, and here's samanantara. It's really, really close to each other.
Really, there is nothing in between. They are really together.
So paccaya and paccaya-uppanna is very close to each other, is the other conditioning force. So you will see that basically they are the same. But sometimes some people understand it with this wording, and other people may, I get it with another wording. So these two, basically, you can consider them as the same.
I need the very close, or with the close is enough.
Yes, really, really close, really nothing in between, like that. No?
Yes.
Okay, so this is also about the chitta, and one chitta after the other. Okay, then we go to the number 6. The number 6 is called conascence-condition, sahajāta-paccayo. Sahajāta-paccayo, something that arise together. So here, the paccaya and the paccaya-upana, they arise together. For example, what arise together? Chitta and Chitta-sika, they always arise together, no? They cannot be Chitta
by itself
or Chitta-sika by itself. So they are related to each other. Chitta and Chitta-sika are related to each other by this condition.
Sahajāta.
By being arising together.
They
always
born
arise
together.
And also sometimes in the rebirth moment, patisandhi time, even kamaja rupa also arise together, no?
With the mind.
In this case, with chitta and chitta-sika, no? With the patisandhi chitta, the chitta-sika that is associated with the patisandhi chitta and the kamaja rupa, at that moment they also arise together, sahajāta, no? So only in this moment, mind and matter arise together with this condition.
Yes.
Then other time,
the time we arose in our mother's womb was as we have seen before, the mind and the matter arose together. So these two things, the matter and the mind, the consciousness that arose in mama's belly, it was at that moment related by sahajāta-paccayo, conascence, comes from together, born together.
Yes, so sometimes chitta rupa also arise together, but there are some chitta that does not produce rupa, no? So we cannot say that chitta and chitta-sika and rupa always arise together. No, sometimes, yes, no? Because sometimes there's some chitta that don't produce rupa.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the sahajāta. So this condition is paccaya arise together with paccaya-upana all the time, whatever arise together.
Saha means together, jata means born. So, do you remember in Paṭicca-samuppada we say jati for birth? Jata is the same root.
Okay.
Yes.
So
everybody okay? Everybody okay? Good, good, going good, good, looking good, looking good.
Okay, let's go to another one. Okay, another one is called annamanna-paccayo, mutuality conditions. So this means that the paccaya and the paccaya-upana is reciprocal. They support each other. They mutually support each other.
Like the legs of a tripod, you need the three of them. If you take one away, the tripod will fall. So we have leg 1, 2, and 3. They mutually need to be supported. None of them is more important. They must be together. So the tripod is standing because of annamanna-paccayo, mutuality condition. They are supporting one another. So
what can be, just as a reminder, now Bhante is giving examples with daily examples.
Usage. No? Yeah, so how we can see.
Yes. So these relations are between ultimate realities. So the tripod example is actually being given in the scriptures. Now, ancient teachers explained like that.
They use a table. I use a table as an example.
But we need to understand that when we see a tripod, we don't think that the tripod is in an annamanna-paccayo, no? Because we are talking about ultimate realities. In ultimate realities, they are just rupa. Yes, so how these rupas relate to each other, there are the paccaya-sati. But as a tripod itself cannot be, because this is a concept, no? Tripod does not exist. It's just a lot of rupa being combined in a certain way, and we call it a tripod, no? So it does not apply to concept in this way. Yeah. Yes.
We understand the functioning with a daily example, and then we go to see in which way in ultimate reality the different elements are being mutually supported.
Yes, but so it is very useful because we can have an idea of how it works. So therefore, ancient teachers, even the Buddha himself, also give this kind of example so we can understand better. So here, in this case, the annamanna-paccayo, mutually they support each other. Like Bhante said, they must all be there, otherwise it falls. No, for example, chitta and chitta-sika, they are also in this annamanna-paccayo. No, they mutually support each other. It cannot be. They cannot be separated. No,
chitta supports chitta-sika. Chitta-sika supports chitta.
Yeah, so they bond together. They mutually support each other. Yes. Okay. So another example. for the four Mahabhutas, the four
great
elements, they also always arise together, and they also always support each other, and they cannot be separated, no? So all the time they are there. So in this case, they are called annamanna.
They are sahajāta, born, arise together, and annamanna.
Well.
They arise together and they support each other.
Yes, but okay, let's go to another one before we go to too much details. Just an introduction now of the paccayas. Okay, then dependence condition, the next one, number 8, is called nisaya-paccayo. Nisaya-paccayo. Now here, in this case, the relationship is the paccaya supports the paccaya-upana. So I repeat again, dependence condition. So paccaya supports the paccaya-upana, or the paccaya-upana depends on the paccaya. Okay. So
B is because of A. It needs that support. It's A supporting the arising of B.
A supports B, and or B is being B depends on A.
B depends on A,
whichever way.
Yes.
Okay, so for example, the Mahabhutas and the Upadaya Rupa. No, remember this dependent matter. They depend on the four Mahabhuta. Without the Mahabhuta, they cannot arise.
Yes.
So it is important. So in this way, the Mahabhuta supports the dependent Rupa, or the dependent Rupa depends on the Mahabhuta for their arising. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so later on with more detail, then it will be
clearer and clearer. Yes. Now we're just checking, generally looking at the menu. What are they? What are a little bit their functioning? And you can see, now you are seeing that this is not the elements, but the functioning. What are they doing between both of them? How?
How are these things related with each other?
Yes.
Okay, then the next one, number 9, is called intense support condition. Upanissaya-paccayo.
Upa means strong. Inisaya, the one we just saw, is a support, but this was a strong support.
So sometimes we may translate it as intense support. Sometimes you will find some translation that is called decisive support.
Decisive support
or intense support. Anyway, the relationship here between the paccaya and paccaya-upana is that the paccaya gives a foundational support to the paccaya-upana. It gives a very foundational and very important support to the paccaya-upana. Later
yes.
we
will see some examples. Yes.
Okay, so let's go to the next one, number 10. Here, this is called prenascence-condition, purejäta-paccayo. So the relationship here between paccaya and paccaya-upana is that the paccaya supports the paccaya-upana by existing
beforehand. For example, pure means before, jata, born. So something born before. So the fact that we can see a flower is because the flower was there already in the first place. So when we turn to the flower, the matter that comprises the flower, born already. It was already present. That's why we can see a flower or any object. It is already there. It arose already. So whenever our eyes and our consciousness arises, is related to that seeing because of it borning before, it being present already.
Yes. So in each paccaya sati, there are some categories also. What Bante just explained is called annamanna-purejäta. So being an object that is born before, so it supports the eye consciousness, support the eye consciousness, because if there is no object, you cannot see it. Now, on the other hand, we can also see the hetu-paccayo, so which is the base. If we have no chakku-pasada, even there is flower, we cannot see.
Yes.
Yeah? So the chakku-pasada, the sensitive matter of the eye, it's also
born before.
Being a support for chakku vijnana to arise. If there is no eye sensitivity, then we cannot see. Eye consciousness will not arise. So in this way, being there before is a support condition for the state that is being conditioned.
And in a more gross example, the borning before of our mother was possible for us to born. If our mother didn't born before us, we could have never arise, at least this one. So because she was there already there, then on the many more conditions on the fertile age, then we were able to born because of her borning. So this will be purejäta. We will be in one of the many ways we are related to our mother. This will be one force that made her presence, her born before, just as a general example.
Yes.
General
as an example for
yes.
us to understand, no, but this apply to, again, I'm sorry, but it applies to ultimate reality. The mother concept does not exist. I also do not exist, so cannot because of mother I born. But of course, because if my mother is not there,
please
I am there.
Allow us to go a little bit just to see. But yes, it's clear. It's clear.
Making sure that we are always, this paccaya sati applies to ultimate reality. But these examples are very important also for us to understand how these things are related. No? But we don't have to think, when we see this thing and that thing, that out there in this relationship, but actually, because in terms of ultimate reality, they are not. I'm sorry, really sorry, but because I'm
sorry as well. Then both ways.
Because the thing is that it is really important that we bring it to ultimate reality, because in the case of my mother being there and I being here, the relationship actually I think is upanissaya-paccayo, pakatu-upanissaya-paccayo. So it is not, cannot say purejäta-paccayo in this case.
Anyway, in this case, we understood. No, something born before supports the borning of something before supports the arising of something else.
Yeah, I think the flower and the eye is very good example already for understanding of this in ultimate reality. Okay, then let's go to the next paccaya. We're already in number 11. Going good. Okay. So number 11, conascence-condition, sahajāta-paccayo. This we have also gave some example previously. Causes that supports. Now here the relationship is the paccaya supports by arising after the paccaya-upanna. We just saw that it arises before to support, no? And then now it is by arising after it supports. So sometimes the very common, easy understanding example being given by the teacher is like, let's say she cannot sleep the whole night because she's going to travel. And she is very excited about her trip. So the trip has not happened yet, and the traveling is not happened yet, but because of something that is not yet arisen yet, it caused her to now cannot sleep. Yes, so something that is
about to happen,
not happened yet,
is making an effect on her already.
Now. Yes. Okay, so this is one kind of condition that is possible.
Like Christmas, you remember 24 in the night was a little bit hard to fall asleep. Tomorrow in the morning the thing is coming. El niñito Dios va a venir hoy en la noche.
Yeah, or the children.
Something that has not arisen makes something to be modified.
Yes, for example, Sayadaw Kamsachara, he also gave another example. For example, he says that I make an appointment with Cass. Okay, Cass, let's see in Los Guayabos at 7. Okay, so 6:45, I'm already in the Guayabos, but Cass is not there yet. But her coming, because it's not 7 yet, don't worry. So, so 6:45, I was there. So suppose if Cass is not coming, at that time, I might have to go to Guadalajara, for example, no? But because she is coming, so I stayed in the Guayabos, I'm not going anywhere. But she's not coming yet.
But she will.
But because of something that has not happened yet, so I am now here because she will come.
What are you doing here? I'm waiting for a friend, you may say. That thing hasn't arrived, but that is already making us do something. Yes.
So this kind of relationship.
So we are related at that moment in general. I mean, it's another general example. We are being related by paccaya-jata. Post-nascent, something that will born later on is already making us be having an effect now. This one is a little bit tricky. You will see this one is like, what? The effect comes after the cause? I mean, the cause come after the effect. The effect is already happening and the cause comes later. So in this case, it's effect and cause is about to come. You see, like, what?
Yeah, sometimes for cause and effect, we always think that cause must come first and effect come later, no? But actually, cause and effect can arise together at the same time, as we saw sahajāta-paccayo. Yes, so they can arise together, or they can arise before, the cause arise before, like purejäta we just saw, no? Arising before, cause arising before, then effect later, or even sahajāta, and even the cause can arise later, and then the effect comes first. Also,
yeah,
possible.
This one is the weirdest one of those. The universe is very, very interesting. Effect happening before the cause. Yes.
Okay. So let's go to another one. The next one is number 12. Repetition condition is called asevana-paccayo. Asevana-paccayo. So here the relationship between the paccaya and the paṭicca-samuppada is that the paccaya cause the recurrence of the paṭicca-samuppada. It is a repetition force. For example, this actually, in simple words, it applies to the jhavanas. The 7 jhavana, they arise exactly the same, repeat after each other. No?
The same kind, repeat 7 times.
In the mental process, remember?
Jhavana, the active part of the mind.
And those 7, they are always in any kind of a mental process, any single process, they are always the same type. No? Different chitta, but always the same type. No, if it's kusala, 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 no, it cannot be kusala, 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 akusala, cannot. In the same process, they will always repeat each other. No.
So it's this kind of repetition, talking precisely in the ultimate reality of the mind.
Yes. So when it repeats, it becomes stronger, no?
And like in worldly terms, please allow me an example. In worldly terms, whatever we practice, because of repetition, it gets saved in our mind. If we practice, we play many pieces on the guitar, but the one that we practice the most is the one that is fortified because of that repetition. It has something to do before, something to do similar in the mind. Some things in nature repeat themselves. That's why they fortify, they become stronger. And in the very macro lens of our life, we can see that all our habits, whatever we do, the fact that we brush our teeth every day or wash our hands, it's already because of the repetition. Our mind don't need to think about it anymore. It's already something that happens naturally. Any habit has something to do with this, good or bad.
Yes, thank you, Bante. Actually, in Burma, in Myanmar, our teachers also, they also sometimes use these kind of examples. Even our teacher always, he says that we have to see with which lens we are looking. No? Sometimes if we are looking with the microscope, then we are looking at the ultimate reality. Strictly speaking, it only applies to this. But even in daily life in Burma, you listen to some sayadaws, daily they also say asevana, meaning the repetition of something.
I think, yeah.
Also, it can be used.
I think a photographer who has a thorough view of the world needs to have all the lenses. So let's just be clear when we are using the microscope, when we're using the fish eye lens, so we have a wider eye. You know our tendencies. I generally, because I study only with the microscope, later on, it takes years for us to try to apply it on daily life. What does that mean in our life? That's why I have inherently a need to bring things down to our common experience, but of course, being and understanding the ultimate reality, we must keep it that in mind.
Yes, so we just have to know which lens we are using, and of course, if we are using the microscope lens, then things are precise. No, exactly this and this and this. If we're talking about ultimate reality, but if we use the macro or the fish eye, then things are not precise.
Not as clear, but you can see it's also precise, interesting.
But it is also
see the whole
view. Yes, it's also a way to understand. So it's also important. Okay, so let's go to the next one.
One last thing. For example, in these 2 examples about it is impossible to see our jhavanas. Actually, it's technically impossible to see it by ourselves. It goes so quickly.
But we can understand.
We can understand how it works, and most importantly as well is how can I apply this wisdom onto our daily improving in life. Yes, Charana. Okay. Let's go next one.
So let's go to...
We are at 12? Yeah, 13.
Yeah, number 13. Everybody okay?
Everybody okay? Good, my dear family. Okay. Good coach.
Okay. So the next one is called karma-paccayo, karma conditioned. Now we have finally come to this kamma-paccayo. So the relationship between kamma-paccayo is that the paccaya produce the paccaya-upana. The paccaya is the karma. No? Karma produce a result. No? So karma produce a result. So here, remember, when we were in the very beginning of the course, then we always talk about karma, and then people will start thinking, oh, as the karma, it's everything. So everything is because of karma and because of this and that. Actually, that by the time we have already told you, karma is only one condition among the 24 conditions. So karma is not always because of karma. There are many other reasons, many other conditions for things to be related. So not all the time.
So for example, right now, using the example of burning, karma brought us to that, but because of the elements were there, purejäta or sahajāta, our mind and body grow together. We can now see that in general, we say, yes, I born in a human realm because of my karma, but actually, karma is only this one of the conditions, and already we haven't finished, and we have 4 or 5 conditions that were present, definitely working on it. So now we can see, after all what we have studied these months or 2 years almost, we can start using, it's much more interesting, much more specific. Yes, in general terms, we say karma everything, but no, there are more things on rolling on.
Yeah, so karma is a very, very important condition, but it's not just the only condition. There are 24 conditions, and karma is only one of them. Okay, and the next condition is called resultant condition. So vipaka-paccayo. So in this case, we have cause, then we have the effect. No, the result will happen also. Yes. No? So in this case, the relationship between paccaya and paccaya-upana is that the paccaya matures, or it ripens the past karma and make it into paccaya-upana.
So the fruit can come in.
Yes. So resultant condition. So this means that vipaka. No, we're familiar with this word vipaka-citta. No, so the paccaya matures the past karma and make it into the paccaya-upana. So in this case, vipaka-paccayo.
And these two forces are very common. We always say karma and vipaka, karma, the seed and the fruit, the seed and the fruit. So, but they are different. Their functioning is different. Our action we do something bad. Because of doing something bad, we went to jail. And then we can say we are in jail because of the fruit of our bad action. So we can see from both sides, yes, the cause and the effect.
Yes, it's like both sides. The karma create the result, and in this case, so karma, the paccaya conditioned the result. No, the mix how can I say? Yes, like two things. One is being the cause, and one is being the effect. And now in this case, let's return like that.
Yeah, put again your cause. Yeah.
This is cause, this is effect. The kamma-paccayo, no, this cause and then this effect happen. And now we return it. So this effect, big condition, is a condition for because of this cause, no?
These are rows because of that cause.
They are related in terms of this being his result.
This is a fruit of that seed.
Yeah. Okay. Again.
So either we see it from this side or from this side in both ways.
Yeah. So again, this is cause. This is effect. No. So these they are related in what way? They are related in this being the cause for this one to arise. Yes. Okay. So now we turn it. This is the effect. This is the cause. So how are they related? This is the effect of this cause.
They are fruit condition is happening here, and in the other one, in like karma condition is between them.
The relationship between the two, because you can swap, no, like A is related to B because A is the cause of B. Now B is related to A. How? Because B is the result of A.
Yes, yes, that was a good one. Repeat that one, Sharon, again. That is the perfect one.
So A is the cause. A and B are related.
We know they're related.
How? Being A being the cause of B.
Karma.
Okay. So now A and B and A is related. How? B being the result of A.
Vipaka. Yes, that was a very good one.
Okay, so I hope it's clear. Later on, it will become more clear.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay, so and then let's go to the next one, nutriment. nutriment condition, ahara-paccayo. So in chapter 7, we have seen that nutriment, there are different kinds of nutriment. We have kabarikaro aharo, food, the things that we eat.
Food we eat,
that supports the body.
Our life.
Yes. Or there are also arupa, no? There's something that is a non-rupa ahara also. Mental nutrient, no? Remember?
Whatever we read feeds our mind. Or
this is in chapter 7, we saw already exactly. They are phasa,
contact,
chetana, volition,
intention,
and vijnana itself. No, so these are ahara as well. So how these are related? So here the paccayupana sustain the the paccaya sustain the paccayupana. So for example, phasa paccaya what? Phasa paccaya vedana, no? Because phasa is a very important condition for vedana to arise, no? Although they arise together, but without the contact, mental feeling will not arise. And phasa is so important, and as well as it is also a mental ahara, mental nutriment for vedana to arise. So this so in this case, phasa and vedana also have this condition. All phasa itself and the whole chitta, no, that it is associated with that phasa is being conditioned in this way, because the phasa sustain the whole chitta. Okay, so later with the concrete examples of the ultimate realities, then we will see more clearly.
Everybody okay? Let's touch base a little bit. Let's digest. We're going number 15, and we continue. We are about to take also the break.
Let's do number 16, and then we'll go to the break.
We take the break. Okay?
Yes. So okay, number 16, faculty condition, indriya-paccayo.
Very nice image.
Indriya-paccayo. So here the paccaya and the paccayopana, their relationship is that the paccaya is the controlling faculty of the paccayopana.
The thing that is conditioned.
For example, faculties, we have also saw these faculties in chapter 7. Again, the information that we have collected in chapter 7 is super important for us to understand all this Paṭṭhāna. Because of the adhipati, we have to remember what was adhipati. Ahara, which ones was ahara? Faculty indriya, how many indriyas?
What was that?
So we have to remember later on. So if it will be handy if you also have the
fundamental Abhidhamma, as we mentioned before. This is very useful.
Here.
This is
which one was like?
This is after studying the Abhidhamma Sangaha, this is your best companion. Which one was the faculty? This one. Very quickly. If you go into the Abhidhamma Sangaha itself, so many pages, you need to be looking, and the text is well, this one is just like a table of contents for each of the chapters we just saw. Fundamental Abhidhamma by Venerable Sayadaw U Nandamana Diwan.
Yeah. So for example, we're talking about here faculty condition, indriya-paccayo, no? If you have the book, page 266, those are the indriyas. Then so this is the indriyas that we are talking about. So what are they? Eye sensitivity, Chaku indriya, sotindriya, ghanendriya, and this eye faculty, ear faculty. And so how is that being a controlling factor? Because those are important for eye consciousness to arise. No? Without an eye, without this, it is not possible. No, so those in terms of that, they are being faculties. We have already seen in chapter 7, and also some other things are also faculties. For example, the 5 spiritual faculties. Remember, sati, samadhi, panya, viriya, and sada. No. Yeah, so these 5 spiritual faculties also are indriya, indriya. So indriya-paccayo includes all these things. So because of these very strong factors, it have controlling power over the other factors that arise together. No? Okay, anyway, we will go into details later on.
Yeah, this is just the menu. We will go slowly. It will take a few sessions. Okay, my dear family, then let's take a little break, 5 minutes, and then we continue. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for the noble effort, communal effort. Welcome, everybody. Ready? Should we continue?
Okay, so
yes, let's continue.
Welcome back. So we have been exploring the introduction of different kinds of paccaya. So this is only for us to today. This is only for us to have an idea of what is Paṭṭhāna. Or what does it talk about? What means by conditionality?
Yeah.
No, so we are not going to too much details today. But it's just to give have an idea of what it is about, or like what are those 24 conditions like that. And then I think it will be good enough for today, and then we will go into each one with a little bit more examples.
Detail, what did they mean?
And examples, illustrated examples, yes. Like similes, and also some of the ultimate realities
to see how
everything,
it really works. As I said, it will be a long, lifelong study. Very, very interesting. There is people and dear friends that are specialized in this, and this is the deepest wisdom of the whole Abhidhamma. Actually, when the Buddha described that the teaching is going to disappear, it will make it, as we mentioned before, it will happen in stages. So the first thing, there are 3 Pitakas in the teaching. The first thing that will go, the Buddha mentioned, is Abhidhamma, because as we move as humanity, the interest on thinking, as you know, this requires a good amount of thinking and attention. There are many details. And since the general tendency is more frivolous or superficial, unfortunately, yes, the Abhidhamma is the thing that will go first. Then the Sutta.
And among the Abhidhamma,
yes, I'm going there. And the Buddha says that among the Abhidhamma, the first thing that will go is Paṭṭhāna, because it's the deepest one, the one that is like requires the most of our attention. This is the goal. That's why our Russian friend, Evgeny, he feels as a duty to keep Paṭṭhāna, because this is the first line. He says, this is the first line of protection. We must protect Paṭṭhāna because it's the first thing going, because unfortunately, the more superficial the human mind becomes, more distracted, it will be harder and harder. So I will also add to this comment, the fortune we all have. Let's cherish this treasure. The fortune we all have to be having contact with this deep teaching. Is deep, you will see, and may a lot of wisdom arise from it. It is there to show nature and the unsubstantiability of nature, the anicca, dukkha, and anatta of nature. This is why the Buddha explained all these things. May many fruits for all of us and our families, my dear family.
Yes, so it really depends on each person, no? Because yes. Some people may think that this is so boring, or this is so complicated, and why do I want to know which relate to what, like that, no? So, but it depends on the person. And for some people, it is so interesting, no, how these things are related, in what way, and all these things.
You get obsessed with it. Yeah.
But anyway, so let's continue. To see what are the other conditions.
Good to have a good sense of all the whole areas of the teaching. Then we can see whatever we feel more comfortable and keep feeding all of them. I would say it will be like a good intellectual and practice diet.
Yes, I mean, well, with this introduction of this coming few days, these coming few sessions, then we can have a little taste of what it is about. Then if one is interested, there are books, there are courses from our teachers, even videos about Paṭṭhāna, more detailed information. Then we can also look at those videos and other things and give an exploration. And for those who are not that interested, or at least we have a rough idea of what Paṭṭhāna is about.
Yeah, but Paṭicca-samuppada, definitely, my dear family, which is on this same, it is essential for our practice. It can really make a difference in our lives.
Okay, so let's go to number 17.
Paṭṭhāna as well. Depends on the level of detail. We can see Paṭicca-samuppada in the lens of Paṭṭhāna. Very interesting.
Yes, because without Paṭṭhāna, Paṭicca-samuppada cannot be explained
comprehensively. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so let's continue with the 17 of the 24, and this jhana-paccayo, jhana conditioned.
Yes. So jhana conditioned, as we have seen also in chapter 7 again, jhana does not mean that only the absorption, no, not the meditative absorption, but jhana meaning like taking an object and look at it really closely, no? So in this case, by taking up and considering an object very closely, the paccaya cause the paccaya-upana. So the relationship between A and B is that here also there are different kind of categories, classifications. One may be object, or the other may be mind, or things like that. But anyway, later we will go into details. But jhana condition here meaning the relationship is by looking very closely.
And of course, in the jhana, because the looking closely is happening, whenever a person experiences a meditative absorption, it will be his or her mind will be experiencing that because of this condition, because the mind is very, very focused onto a selected object that that person is meditating in. So very, very purity of mind, very strong and simple, powerful mental concentration.
Yes, and also not all the time good things, no? Remember, dosa also, no?
Jhana, dosa jhana.
Remember?
Very concentrated in my enemy. The mind cannot forget what he or she said or whatever. The mind is really, very painful.
Okay, so information of chapter 7, no? So if you have time, then you
chapter
can also
7, very
revise a little bit about these words, just like the next one coming one is also, we also saw it in chapter 7, magga-paccayo, path condition. So here again, path does not mean only the noble eightfold path.
Enlightenment path.
It means that any path that leads to somewhere, good path or bad path. No? So the path that leads to samsara or the path that leads out of samsara.
The path that leads to ruin and suffering or the path that leads to freedom. But in this case, the Buddha is non-biased and he's saying just path exists. But of course, the one that will be most promoted is the right path, the noble eightfold path, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, to balance our mind so it can give us good results in our lives and our wisdom, or the wisdom, and final liberation.
Okay, so that is the magga-paccayo. And then let's go to the next one. The next one is called association-condition, sampayutta-paccayo. Now you may feel like, what is this coffee doing here with this paccaya? So
what about this coffee?
So the idea is that this association condition means that something that they are together and they are blend together. They are always together, like very closely together, just like the coffee and the milk. Once you stir them together, although there are coffee and there is milk, but they become one, no? Like well, they don't become one, but I mean they are totally associating with each other. So it's just an image, like
associated.
Yes, so they are closely associated with each other. So in this case, the condition or the relationship between the paccaya and paccaya is that the paccaya is associated with the paccaya, like milk and coffee, like they mix together.
Yeah.
No?
So you remember in chapter 1 we used that word, loba, or how you say, somanasa sahagata jnana sampayutta. So we were saying happy feeling associated with wisdom, like a cheetah as associated with wisdom, or vipayutta, not associated with wisdom. So it was a wholesome mental state associated with wisdom. That association between the mental state is chitta is one, and the panya is a cetasika. They are different things, but they are happening at the same time. They are associated. Sampayutta or vipayutta, negating their association.
Yes, so we come to the number 20, dissociation condition, vipayutta-paccayo, no? Which is what like Bhante explained. But sometimes things can arise together, but they are not associated with each other. So for example, mind, chitta and cetasika, they arise together and surely they are associated with each other, no? But chitta, cetasika and rupa, they also arise together, but they don't are not mixed together. I mean, mind and matter, they arise together, but they are not in this condition dissociated. So they cannot be mixed.
Yeah, because mind is mind, mind cannot be, they are related. They relate one another, but they cannot mix. Matter is matter, as we have seen, and mind is mind. They are different frequencies of nature, if we put it in that way. Yes. So in this case, yes, they even sahajāta, they born together, they arise together when we born in our mama's belly. It was the consciousness arose together with the matter. They were together, but not associated, not mixed.
Yes, so in Spanish, sometimes you say juntos, but not juntos pero no revueltos.
Charana, juntos pero no revueltos. Exactamente. Very good one. So in this case, like oil and water. Yes, they are together, but not so they don't like. It's not that they don't like. That's why they know They cannot associate.
Naturally, they are not associated.
Together, but not mixing. Not like the coffee and the milk that it comes, as you stir it, they're so associated that it comes a moment that you cannot tell what is coffee and which is coffee. They are still coffee and milk, but it is very so associated that you cannot tell.
Yes, they don't change into another thing. They are themselves. They don't change into another thing, but they become so one thing. No?
One thing in itself. Yes. So you can see how many colors, no, of the forces of cause and effect. So many aspects we have already seen. We know cause and effect very simply, briefly. Now we are looking, this is the way they are associated. How is this cause and effect happening? Yes, let's continue. Everybody okay? Everybody good? Looking good, looking good. Okay. Looking good.
Quite interesting. Okay.
Good, my dears. It's a pleasure to be together.
Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one, number 21, we're almost there, finishing 24. Now, the 21 is called presence-condition, adhipati-paccayo. Adhi means when it is there, when something is there. So this example that I'm putting here is like, as long as there is oxygen in the tank, the diver can continue his dive. And no more oxygen, his diving is finished. He has to come up. Yes. So depending on something, what he's doing can continue.
Because of the presence of oxygen, in that case, he can continue
breathing under the sea. So now this can apply to what Bhante said in the chair. As long as the chair is there,
we can sit on it.
If the chair is gone, then you cannot sit. No. So it's this presence conditioned. It means this Paccayo and this Paṭicca-samuppada, their relationship is the Paccaya is present at the same time as the Paṭicca-samuppada.
They must be together.
In this way, they support each other. At least they support, no?
Yes.
With presence, with this presence, no?
Yes.
Okay. Until here, okay? Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
So let's go to the next one. We only have 3 more left. The next one is called now the opposite, the absence condition, nati-paccayo.
As the example I mentioned before, because the mind goes one cheetah and another cheetah rise, another cheetah rise, the one that arose, the last one, needs the disappearance of the previous for it to arise. There are no cheetahs, 2 cheetahs cannot be at the same time up. So like in our thinking, actually we are really only thinking about one thing at a time. We need the previous thought, the absence of the previous thought to happen, so the new one can come up.
Yes.
Like,
So in this example that I'm giving here is like in the absence of noise, then there is silence.
For the silence to happen, noise must be absent. There is another example that gives the teachers, talking about the chair again. If someone is sitting, we cannot come and sit on that chair. We need the absence of that person. Then, this chair is empty. Now I can sit. I am sitting on this chair because there was nobody there. The absence of somebody else allows me to be seated here.
¿Cómo se dice a quien se fue?
Al que se fue a la villa perdió su silla. Charana hoy anda filosísima. Filosísima. El que se fue a la villa perdió su silla.
Okay, so like that. So he must be gone.
El que se fue a la villa, he must have gone to la villa, otherwise the other one cannot sit. Yes. Oh, he hasn't gone to la villa. I cannot take that chair. So he's going to la villa is
condition.
Nati-paccayo for me to take la silla. Ahora sí.
Yes.
He's going of la villa is the
condition.
Nati-paccayo for me to take the silla. Yes, that's a good one.
Okay. Okay, now the coming to is quite similar. It is called disappearance condition.
Yes.
So this one, purejäta-paccayo. Basically, we can understand it in the same way as the absence of the sound, the absence of noise, then silence can arise. No, so here the disappearance of the sound, the silence can arise. Or here this example that I put here is like the absence of light. With the absence of light, then darkness arise. No. Or in the same way. So this Paccaya and this Paṭicca-samuppada, the way that they are conditioned, I mean the way they are related is that the Paccaya discontinues at the arising of the Paṭicca-samuppada. So once the Paṭicca-samuppada arises,
the other one
this Paṭicca is gone.
Finish.
So it is very similar with the absence, no? Because disappearance and absence, basically, there's no difference. But the Buddha explained it in this way because some people understand it in the way of absence. Some people understand it in the way of disappearance. Because if you take the words, sometimes someone says, okay, if I say absence, so he might come back. No, or disappearance is totally gone.
He's gone. He will never come back again. Yes.
Yes. So some people might understand in that way, or in other ways. So the Buddha used the words that people can understand
better.
But they, in the conditions, if you see into the details, they are the same.
They are the same. And another thing that the Buddha also, whenever he emphasized something with different, like we do the same when we are trying to explain something and we start bringing synonyms, like this one or this one or this one, we are just reinforcing the idea. And generally the Buddha did so because for some reason in his teaching, he thought that it's important to be noted, to understand clearly.
So that means that something must be absent as well as disappeared in order for something else to arise.
So talking about anatta and the natural process, yes, we need the absence or the disappearance of previous mental state for another one to come. So then we can understand, it's arising and passing away, it's changing. It is not something that continues. Much more clearer to help us by looking at these forces, it helps us to reinforce the wisdom that we already have. We can see, it's true. It is really changing because that thing is gone. The thought I had in the morning is gone forever. Now, if I remember it, it's a present memory, but that thought is gone forever. And the new thoughts were necessary. The absence of that thought was necessary for the new thought to arise. Yes.
Okay. So in the next one, and we can understand in the same way, is called the non-disappearance condition.
Or the presence.
Abhidhamma, no? So as long as the flame does not disappear, light will still be there.
Yes.
Yes. So once the flame disappears, then light cannot be. So in the same way, like presence and avijja are non-disappearance is just basically the same thing.
Presence and non-disappearance is like synonyms, no? Like they are couples. Absence and disappearance, presence and non-disappearance.
They always arise together.
They are the same, yeah.
So when there is a non-disappearance condition, there must be presence condition also. So these two conditions always arise together. So when there is absence condition, then the disappearance also must arise together, no? So because they are together, no? Okay. So this relation is between the paccaya and Paṭicca-samuppada is as long as the paccaya do not disappear, then Paṭicca-samuppada continue to exist.
Yes. Is it clear, my dear family? How are we? We finished the 24 already. Just the introduction of the table of context, what we will be looking on it. We would like to touch base with you. How do you see this? What possibilities? What do you get from all this? What things were interesting or something?
Just 1 minute. Yeah. So I think until here, let's close for the content of today, because if we now go into starting to explain the details one by one, it will be a little bit heavy, maybe too much information for today. So I think we can stop here.
Yes, touch base.
And then we can listen to how you feel, what do you think, or if you have any questions or comments.
Questions, let's start with questions, and let us know if one of them triggers your curiosity or something. We can start exploring, and then we set up the environment to be ourselves thinking on what we will share in the next classes, and the many details for sure will get clarified as we go on to one by one in detail. So my dear family,
it's also good to know, like we really want to hear some feedbacks of how you feel, like if you think that just an introduction is good enough, or you want to know a little bit more, or I want to know until the very detail, or
how deep down the rabbit hole do you wish to go?
So it depends on everybody. So the preparation of the coming classes will also see if it is okay, we just first round we can only have a general idea, we don't have to go so deep. For example, if everybody decide like that, then we can go that direction.
Yesterday we were discussing that question, and actually we are thinking by now to make a balance, give a little bit of taste. Let's see how it goes. But please, we would like to hear from you. Let's listen. How do you feel in that regard? And And what things caught your attention? What would you like to know more? Please, my dears, open your mic. Feel free. We are in family, and it can be in any language. Whoever wish, welcome. It is very helpful for us. Very helpful for us.
Any language except
yes,
Russian.
Don Diegas. Huh?
Any language except Russian.
Except Russian. Don Diegas, please go ahead.
Can you hear me well?
Yes. Welcome.
I think the examples were amazing. It was really, really helpful to have such clear examples. And I think those examples can only be given through experience. So someone that understood very well all these teachings, because of that, he can find a way to tell it as simple as possible. So this example, like, yes, it's just like olive and water. They cannot be mixed together. Or it's just like you cannot sit on a chair if there is somebody else sitting in there. Or you are thinking about the future, even though it's not happened yet, because you're going to have a trip tomorrow and your mind has that in a very intense situation. So I think it was amazing, those examples. Thank you very much. Very helpful to such deep instruction, getting an easier way to grasp it.
Yes, thank you. Next week we'll have
more
examples. There are some traditional examples.
Imagine, Diegas, the understanding of the teachers, as you said, that they must have about the workings of nature. So later on, when they are chilling, eating the lunch, and suddenly they see some oil and water together, and then they say, wow, this is like Vipayuta. And then they get this. So the beauty of thinking on the Dhamma and seeing the Dhamma in a real world. I totally join you on this joy, and it must be very beautiful, very thankful for the teachers to be thinking about the Dhamma and finding ways for us to just get, yes, just like that. Very, very beautiful. Thank you, Don Diegas.
Thank you.
Somebody else, my dear family.
It's actually the Buddha, he himself gave a lot of these examples.
Yes. Yes,
I have a question.
How do you feel? Yes, Nanchita.
So I still don't understand what is the Paṭṭhāna related to the Paṭicca-samuppada.
Okay, I'll give you one example. We actually, to understand that, we must go through all the Paṭṭhāna first, which we have just did an introduction. We need to understand all the Paṭṭhāna relations well, then we go back to the Paṭicca-samuppada and then relate them together. No? So now, for example, avijja-paccaya-sankara, the first link.
One.
No?
Because of ignorance, mental activity or wanting happens.
The creative karma, no? So we do things. No, last time we saw, because there is ignorance, we do things. Okay, so in this case, what kind of Paṭṭhāna relationship? Because we say that ignorance is related to sankara, to the work, to planting seeds, not to doing karma. How? It just says
who is working in between them? Yes.
But how are they related? Let's say we are not just we have to take out the ultimate reality very clearly in order to do this. So let's say ignorance itself, moha, okay? Moha, ultimate reality. And the actions, now there were three kinds of actions: akusala actions, kusala actions, remember? Punyavi sankara, apunyavi sankara, and aninjavi sankara, no? Three types, no? Okay, so let's say now we take akusala and the akusala action.
Yes.
Okay.
So ignorance case, and
akusala chitta.
Akusala chitta. Yes.
Yes. So how is this moha related to this akusala chitta? By way of root.
Because they have this is the root of that one.
It's root condition. This chittasika moha is a root in this akusala chitta. No, akusala chitta. Moha is by means of a root. It makes it so strong. It fortifies it.
Yes.
It makes the akusala
chitta strong. It is well fed because of the root.
That it makes karma, no?
Now, that is only one between those two, but also support.
Sahajāta. They bond together.
This ignorance is together with the ignorance thought. So as we know, when we are thinking, when we are angry, ignorance is working in the past. So they are working together. So now we have another paccaya. They have hetu together, they have sahajāta, and they also have support, nisaya. So now we have three of the conditions.
And there are more.
And there are more on this.
In this way, Paṭṭhāna explain how these things are related. Now, but Paṭicca-samuppada is more complicated, a little bit more complex than how it just appears. No, for example, this is only, we are talking about moha to akusala citta. No, so about moha to kusala citta, they do not arise together. We know. Yes, kusala citta. So because when we do good karma,
moha,
there's no moha.
No moha. Then how to do?
Does not associate. So what kind of relation? They don't bond together. No sahajāta. No. So in this case, it would be actually, this is only a pakatu upanissaya, because it is the force of latent. We are not rid of it yet. We still have anusaya, we still have possibility to get angry, and then that's why we are still in samsara. No, we're still in samsara.
Because we are in samsara, we can do good, because we do good in samsara. You can see, we only took two of them, two ingredients. They are related in many ways. We generally say cause and effect. But cause and effect, now we can see it is very broad. Now with the understanding we have developed through these months of studying, now we can really go and pinpoint, this is cause, this is the effect, and in which ways is happening. You see right now we mentioned hetu-paccayo, the same things. They are, this is the root of this. This is the strong support for this. This is the presence of this makes this one happen. So now we start seeing, just to mention a few, but as we go in detail, you will see, wow, every link that we see of Paṭicca-samuppada, it has many forces interacting for that effect to be happening. So you get a better idea. We are not going into detail because just taking these two might take us a whole class. The point is that you can get a sense, Danchita, how it is working and the forces, what it's doing. How is it?
Yeah, so I can, my perception is like, okay, between this Paṭicca-samuppada chain, we are gonna see all the middle that is between them.
Relations.
Yes, the relations, and that gives the clarification to our wisdom. It gets clearer and clearer. Now, Paṭṭhāna, my dear family, think about this. We already have wisdom, but that we develop from the Buddha's teaching. Paṭṭhāna is polishing that wisdom. It makes it so precise, so clear in which way. Not we don't know only that these things are related. We know how they are related. So Paṭṭhāna explains the how, not the what. But we already saw the what. Now we are seeing at the how. Yes.
Just a clarification. Now, ignorance. We say ignorance and the kusala, no? Like ignorance, moha. How is it related to kusala citta, no? When we're doing good karma, the punya visankara, so merits, no, good deeds. It's only related in two ways. One is annamanna-paccayo, and another one is upanissaya-paccayo. The upanissaya-paccayo we already explained right now, no? Like because of this, we are not rid of this ignorance yet, so we still are born and we still are here. Therefore, if we are here, then we can do good also, no? So this is one. And now annamanna, how is that an object condition? This is very interesting. So how is that so? So because actually we're going to further, but it's okay, so we understand. For example, if a person, then he did something bad yesterday, and then now today he is reflecting, he's considering, oh, because of this bad, I'm making myself suffer, I'm making the other suffer. This bad is really not good. So he's reflecting. So because he takes this akusala as his object, he thinks about this, then kusala arises in his mind now. Then he has kusala citta. He thinks that, no, I will not do that again. I will now be kind, I will be nice, I will be whatever. But taking that akusala that he has done previously as his object, then he thinks that I will be good. So they are related. Now this akusala, and all a person contemplate, because of this ignorance, I am in samsara all the time. This contemplating on the Paṭicca-samuppada itself. So this ignorance, that he is taking it as an object. And then he's thinking, because of this akusala, I am in samsara. So I need to practice, I need to do whatever. So
cultivate,
he takes these objects. And so this moha, this ignorance is related to this kusala mind. How? Being its object.
By object condition.
Yes.
They are related by how? By object condition. That is the kind of reasoning the teachers and the Buddha encourage us to have, to know the cause and effect by what? By this. Then the wisdom is really polished. We really know, or we will arrive to a point where we will clearly know what is going on.
So in this way, moha is related to kusala only by these two conditions, no? But akusala and moha to akusala, then more conditions. No?
Yes, thank you, Nanchita. Very interesting that you raised this point, because now we're very useful to start all of us getting a sense of what is the usefulness of knowing Paṭṭhāna. Yes, Casita, welcome. Something else, Nancy, before finishing? Is okay? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Casita.
You.
Thank you.
I like that you mentioned, because it's like very, very useful to see it that way in general. Like to learn from those experiences that you have, maybe that were not that they were unwholesome, because even when you already have them, you can understand, like, okay, but the relationship with reminded, or by being aware of what you did and the consequences, that can be wholesome too, to try to change it, to try to remember what is doing it to you, and to think, okay, I'm gonna make a commitment with doing something different for the next time. And that's very useful, I think. Like for a life.
Because of the kusala arise.
Yes, and before we mention this, we said akusala can grow out of akusala in this way, by reflecting and saying, I will not do. Now we will know by object. Now we will do what forces. That's why the force is the fourth word, which is a little bit controversial, is used. By which forces my mind is changing from being on akusala, getting inspired to do kusala, by the object, by the nisaya, we will see many of the 24 will be arising there, and it will be clearly what is going on. Just to mention the forces that many forces will be included on this support.
Yeah, I really like that, because it sounds complicated. The class for me was like a little complicated, but now it's I'm pretty sure it's gonna start making more sense with time and with understanding the details. Yes. But I like it a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
From in the next class, we will be using also the Paṭicca-nideso, actually. So Paṭicca-nideso is you will hear that in chantings a lot of times.
In
Burma? Very, very popular.
Wow, you listen to it a lot in the streets, in the morning, in the shops.
Yeah, this Paṭicca-nideso is the little bit elaboration about this 24 Paccaya-sati, and then it shows in which way it does not give all the ultimate realities at once, but it shows like how, for example, there is one, the one that we just talked about, Purima kusala dhammam pachimanam
kusalanam dhammanam,
and like this. So
annamanna-paccayo.
So previous kusala is related to
future kusala
by way of what?
By way of,
so in this
object, or by way of repetition. Then you will start looking. It explains really clearly every of the elements.
In terms of Javana also, no? Purima kusala dhammam pachimanam kusala dhammanam annamanna-paccayo. So previous kusala is the condition for following kusala to arise by means of what? Annamanna-paccayo in terms of Javana, no? In the Javana time, one kusala is the next one is kusala also, no? So also they are adjunct also, no?
Together,
and asevana also, no? So many different conditions that we can apply it in this way.
Yes, thank you, Casita. Something else? Don Edward, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it was really nice, the class. It was really nice, like the table of content. The examples, as Diego mentioned, were really great. And yeah, I believe it's like, it can be like a really useful topic due to the relations that we can find in all the other like information that we receive from you. So yeah, I believe it will be like really useful in the practice. Right now, I believe that at least for my case, like a lot of more details will be needed for that. But yeah, as a first class, it was really nice. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Go
Thank you. Yes, we will go into the direction of understanding how we can apply to life. No, I think Paccaya Nideso will be good.
Yes.
So we don't go into extreme details of we're taking out each element, but we can go to some details in a little bit more general terms, like previous kusala are related to later on kusala, but we don't take exactly which chitta and which chitta. No, but
ultimate
in
realities,
this way
yeah.
we can understand.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Something
you.
else,
Yeah.
Edward?
Yeah, just regarding the question you asked us, how deep we want to go. I think, well, in my opinion, or for me, if I think that like not too much, but not too little will be like the greatest like way in this like first review. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what everyone else thinks about it.
That's the page we were discussing.
Yes,
we are on
not too detailed as far as we know, no, because very detailed I also don't know. So
yes, and also we open it and then see if there is more interest, then we go on that line, because there will be a few avenues in it. Yes.
Okay. Yes, actually we are now studying also another time Paṭṭhāna. So it goes like just knowing the items and then a little bit about the ultimate realities, what is what, how they are related. Then it goes to Paccaya-Nideso, what we have just chanted now, just a little bit like those, like how what is related to what in by what conditions. Then it goes to Paññāvāra.
This is what we're studying
now. Again, we actually took a course with Sayadaw Nandamala previously, and now Sayadaw, he is giving us class again.
Every week we are taking Tuesday.
Of all ultimate realities we are taking out, and so it goes deeper and deeper.
And after we have been studying with him for how many years? We met him in only 10 years now.
Yeah,
we have been studying with him for 10 years. We already saw the Paṭṭhāna. He's telling us, are you okay? Because now we're going into more details. And then we have been with him, and I really need to, as personal, really need to be like this in the class, because he started explaining more details in between, giving the ultimate reality. So really, my dear family, it depends how far we wish to go. Very interesting. And hopefully we can translate it in benefits in our lives. Yes, very interesting. So that is Paññāvāra. Tomorrow we have class of that.
I think we started already, like how many, like 4 or 5 or 6
sessions.
Class. We are still in the third Paccaya.
Yeah, only going in the third. So he's going like, we need to go slowly, because he's giving all the details. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edward.
Thank you, Bhante and Charana, for the effort of bringing some complex topic into a very graphical and capable of understanding way. I wouldn't say easy to understand way, because it's taking some mental processing to grasp it. But answering to your question, it works really good, I think, for the way I'm used to learn new things, to go from the general topic to the particular. So making this sort of funnel of generality to more detail, it works pretty well. And also sharing Eduardo's opinion. It's good to be in a deep but not so deep like level of exploration for this first time, in order for us to not, lose the forest for the trees, if that makes sense. But it's very interesting topic, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Somebody else?
Yes, first round, general idea is important. Then later we can go into more.
Yeah. Then another round. We have seen this many times, actually. We have come to this topic with different teachers, and every time we get some more information and then digest.
And then we also forget, like which was which, how was what, like
many
and
details.
Have to read again and again and again.
Yes. Somebody else, my dear family? How are you feeling? How do you see? What was curious or caught your attention? Yeah.
Actually, now just I remember when we were in Bodh Gaya, the place where the Buddha got enlightened. There is a place in the temple, like just close to the Bodhi tree, no? So there is a place where the Buddha contemplated about this Paṭṭhāna.
After his enlightenment.
After his enlightenment, yeah, after some weeks then later, then he sat in that place and then he contemplated the Paṭṭhāna. And then it is said that it is so deep, the Paṭṭhāna, that but the Buddha's wisdom is so deep, so his wisdom is so deep, then when he contemplated anything that he feels like this is easy for him to understand or everything. But when he contemplated the Paṭṭhāna, it is said that in the scriptures that it feels like the Buddha feels like a whale. Captive the whale being freed into
the ocean.
So
imagine,
he can explore every corner. He can go wherever his wisdom can reach and explore. So is this kind of feeling, and then he was really delighted about the contemplation on the Paṭṭhāna, that rays of lights of 7 colors
emanate. You know the Buddhist flag that they have different colors. These colors arose from his inspiration and wisdom when he was contemplating Paṭṭhāna. Imagine those colors emanated from his body. Imagine himself saying that his mind was freed like a captive whale into the open ocean. That size of wisdom, he said, now I can be free to think about every single thing so vastly, so open. Imagine for his mind already enlightened to say so. It is remarkable.
And also this is how deep the Paṭṭhāna is, because the Buddha's wisdom is so deep, and that is the Buddha's field. That is the Buddha can be free.
You mean? The field of
the Buddha, so that he can
the Buddha's mind
contemplate.
Yeah, the Buddha's mind in Paṭṭhāna feels free because it's so open, so many vast things to contemplate. Wow, beautiful. Yes, my dear family, somebody else, or we close now? Something? How do you feel? Carito, okay? Everybody? Okay. So thank you everyone. Let's see where we arrive with all this. The first thing we need to do is know the information basics, start getting examples, seeing its functioning, and putting it onto work, bringing it to our lives. May the fruits of this endeavor and efforts be many for all of our family.
Yes. For today, I think with the examples, I think we get a general idea, but surely it's not like we understand it, no? So if you feel like that, it's normal, because we just give the table of content. We haven't read the book yet. So it's like we like this and then read the table of content. Surely we won't understand exactly what it is. So that's fine. And it's totally normal,
Thank you.
no?
Thank
so
we feel like that after years.
Next week with each one a little bit more detail. Okay. It will become like that.
This is a topic to be revisited. Yes. The website of our friend of Guinea is called Paṭṭhāna.org, I think. So if you're interested, take a look. He has been dedicating his time to compiling all the materials that are available, to putting on a single place, so the person who is interested in going deeper into Paṭṭhāna can have access. He has also some video lectures explaining the structure. After we finish, Paṭṭhāna.net. After we finish, if you want to see those videos, you can get more information. Actually, we were filming. We are inside the videos. He ordained temporarily, and he gave that course as a monk. We were in Sagaing.
But I would suggest everybody to look at this information maybe
later,
next week, until we
finish
a little bit. Otherwise, it will be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, now we'll be like, what? Better we finish with this. Yes, my dear family. So let's rejoice for the merits that we have for applying ourselves to contemplate. We appreciate your patience. Thank you, Charana, the effort of everybody. May this be very fruitful. We remember our mother and father. May they be benefited by this wisdom in one way or another, at least with our attitude and love and understanding. May we bring it onto ourselves. Remember our brothers and sisters, children, grandchildren, pets, our neighbors, our communities, all beings, including those we have had tensions in the past, and all the people that we will never know, or beings. May all of us be well, and especially be benefited by understanding. Thank you, everybody. Savitijo biwajantu socorro gowenya satu mate bawat wantarayo suki dikayuko bawang abiwadana silisa nicham uttapachayino chataro dama wadanti ayuwano sukhambalam Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam Rakantu Sabha Devata Sabha Bhutanu Damanu Sanganu Bhavena Sabha Sukhi Bhavantu Te. Sadhu, sadhu. May happiness in every way follow us, especially with the fruits of these noble efforts. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good
See you
night.
next
Sweet
week.
sleep. Sweet sleep. See you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye bye.
Have a good day.
Stay well.
Take
Please take
care.
care. Please take care.